Hello everybody and welcome back to our final match of the Resurrection Cup 2026 Codename Genesis Quarterfinals. And it's a winner's bracket match here in the last of the round to be determined versus Waddle Dee. My name is Codename, joined by Tomi1. Tomi, how are you doing?
Oh, I'm doing great today. I'm feeling good. I just am incredibly excited about this match, honestly. It will be a closing, as you mentioned, and you cannot ask for a better one. Pretty much just two teams that are incredibly good, still sitting in the winners bracket and are ready to showcase their skills even more as they're going to be facing off against each other this time around. But hey, it is how it is. It is a tournament.
Yeah, the nice thing is again, you got to bring up the winner's bracket over and over because it's really crucial to this map. Each of these teams has one more lifeline. Going so deep into the tournament as the semifinals, one of these teams will still remain in the winner's bracket. Something that would be so nice to them. And I think like the fact that both of them made it here, I think speaks to their skill as players. You look at these lineups, you see. I mean, I think a good amount of these players have played in a Resurrection Cup Grand Finals weekend before. I think that should really speak to the star power at play.
It should indeed, and, well, considering that star power, I'm really interested to see what are going to be the bans coming in from both of those teams, right? I mean, generally, we can expect some things, for example. Personally, I am pretty sure that we're going to be seeing either Nomad 3 or Nomad 4 ban coming in for Team Waddle Dee, right? Simply because Team to be determined is just so incredibly dominant on those old type of skill sets that you have to respect it, right? So that might be the case here, but I'm not so sure about what will be the first or even more so a second ban from the team roles.
Yeah, Waddle Dee, they are going to go for that Hard Rock 3 ban. I think a perfect nail on the head there in terms of the skill set, right? Hard Rock 3, this kind of alt control map. So absolutely the map to ban, as you pointed out, but it is very difficult indeed to look at what to be determined might be banning. There's just there's so much skill on display that like. What do you ban into a bunch of NA players, right? Like I feel like you want to leave tech open, of course, but I don't know whether you go like a mechanics direction or you go like a reading direction here.
Personally, I think that most likely idea here is the ban of HD2 or Nomad 5. Simply because, well, Team Waddle Dee has been shown up quite nicely. They did get the #1 score in the qualifiers on that HD2. They were able to win their reading picks in the round of 16. So, again, it is just something that you have to respect, right? It is something that they take pride in, right, generally. So, that would make sense. But if you are feeling a little bit more risky, a bit more unstable I feel like we might see some of those HD1 or HR1 bans coming in from Team Rolls.
Ooh, that's interesting. A no mod 1 ban is actually the choice, going straight for the mechanics. No mod 1, I'm kind of sad we don't get to see it because it's very interesting. A remix made by the mapper, actually. But that one just straight up aim, not wanting to deal with it. Sorry, I don't know why I said straight up aim. That is wrong. I'm very tired. Hello. The aim elements, of course, but there is kind of this like extreme patterning with aim placed throughout.
I mean, generally it makes sense, right? It is just, let's put it that way, it is everything aim. Be that general, right? Just a lot of space, and be that a lot of tech elements, be that just flow aim. It has a bunch of all of those skill sets, so it kind of makes sense. But yeah, what is said is that first of the customs for this round is, after all, will be removed from the table. So I'm now looking around and looking forward towards what will be the pick coming in from team to be determined here. I just have to expect the Nomos 3, as I mentioned before. I do rate them quite highly on the solid skill sets, and they do definitely have advantage over Waddle Dee, especially with their unfortunately subpar performance on Nomos 3 in the qualifiers. But it feels like we might see almost any map from the pool, simply because they are so closely matched.
Yeah, careful consideration for to determine where do we go. Now, off the Hard Rock 3 ban, I think a lot of control stuff might look tempting. Of course, like you said, ult is very, very good for this team. They're pretty solid on tech as well, so a lot of different directions they can go.
I guess it really depends on the case-to-case basis, and what you look at that Nomos 3 is on the table with a great job application name. I believe it is the second custom of this pool coming in, mapped from Viovit, I believe. Yes, I'm sorry if I'm mispronouncing that name, but still, what is fun is the actual map itself, because it is not just general your boring full aim type of ult. It is going to be a lot of aim control, a lot of snap, and low-key it might be actually even kind of a tech map, right? There's a lot of sliders that you have to get through, a lot of sliders to read even, and that might be just a perfect challenge against the team Waddle Dee.
Yeah, absolutely. A Resurrection Cup custom map by WeoIt. It's been interesting. There's been a lot less custom maps this year than in previous years, and so each one that we see is just like, it's amazing to see them so high quality, and this is a really, really fun song as well.
Definitely an enjoyable one, unfortunately. Not as enjoyable for others that are still playing this game, but it is how it is, and it is going to be the first map after all for this matchup. I'm really excited because even if team to be determined is really going to be a favorite on this type of skills that they are going to be, we are going to be expecting a lot of great scores coming in from those players. I do believe there is some potential for a pop-off from the Waddle Dee, especially with some of the players like TTV, Fono, Jabis and Birchman in their reigns. Now it is just a time to prove it again, especially after that unfortunate performance in the qualifiers, that it was just a fluke, unfortunate situation. Potentially get a first breakpoint of this match, but, well, we are going to be starting the map soon. The time to actually prove it will be coming as we are seeing Good Have Fun in the chat, and intro will be coming towards us in just 10 seconds.
Yeah, I was going to point out earlier that UFO does kind of throw a wrench at the play of the control-based pick, so you kind of just got to hope that this single player doesn't take down your control dynasty. We'll see as the Good Luck Have Funs go through the beginning of No Mod 3, the beginning of our last match of this quarterfinals round. Winners bracket to be determined versus Waddle Dee. Let's get into a very, very tough A-control pick by WeoE.
And you can already kind of see what I was talking about. There is just a lot of in control, every kind on this map already in the intro. The accuracy is going to be kind of a maturing factor here, as you already see that the score difference is already heading towards the 20k advantage point towards the team Waddle Dee in the first quarter, and that is quite unexpected actually, especially with some incredible performance that we have seen previously from the team on the left to be determined, but the combos are still on the board. Unfortunately, only one has been dropped from the side of Jackpacks, but there is still a lot of potential for a comeback. There is still a lot of map to get through, and they are doing their best to get some hopes up.
They absolutely are, but nearly halfway through the map now. This map is not very long at all. Short of even 2 minutes is job application here, and with no breaks continued from Waddle Dee, we're starting to get into scary territory here. That Jackpacks break early on didn't look like it might matter that much, but if the combos continue as they are right now, it might be a little just too far out of Too Determined's grasp. They need a break, and they need one soon.
But it seems like it is not happening. It might be the case that one miss at the beginning in the very intro of this map will be a decider, as we have still seen 5 FCs on board. Already, it seems like the Soul Sider did not catch anyone off guard, and we are going to be seeing a decision right in the very end. Even if we are going to be seeing a lot of pings coming in right now, it might not be enough, but with another mistakes from Dananachi and combo drop from team To Be Determined, it is going to be sealed. The start has been set, the first break point has happened, and the team Waddle Dee is in the driver's lead and looking to extend it even more.
A great first point for them, a great first break point at that for Waddle Dee. Really solid stuff. Nearly 3 FCs, a UFO break right at the end, but right at the end doesn't matter at all when you look at the opposing team, right? You have Jackpacks break right at the beginning, Bananachi right at the end alongside TCV UFO. Away with the breakpoint is nice, and that's something you pointed out earlier, is that this lineup does have answers for the control picks that To Be Determined has been successful on throughout the tournament. They can play on a No Mod 3, on a No Mod 4, and everything in between. It's a really balanced roster, and it's something that To Be Determined is going to have to keep contending with every time they want to go pick a map. It's Waddle Dee's pick up next. And you pointed out, like, No Mod 5, Hidden 2 look like great bands. They're both left completely open right now.
Definitely a prime position for Team Waddle Dee to be in, because even if they are going to be facing off against Badu, who is just incredibly known to be great on this type of maps, on this type of reading and general aim, low AR skill sets, you still have just power in numbers. You have more players that are going to be able to produce better scores on average, so it will be working out potentially greatly for them, but for now it's their decision. They basically now have to decide, are they going to be picking into those maps right now while they can, or are they going to be risking towards some of those other potential skill sets, trying to open even more doors as well. There's still going to be not only so much maps that are going to be closely enough matched to that number 3 that they were able to win after all and show off their performance today. It is a big decision, and they have to make that after rolls really soon, because the timer is going to be running out in just a few moments.
And it's No Mod 2 the pick, LMT 240 BPM. This is just real tough tapping.
Yeah, this is kind of surprising for me. I mean, generally, it is going to be dependent on 2 factors, I believe, right now. First of all, do Team To Be Determined have Killer 2007 in their in the lobby right now? This is the big question, because he will be one of the players that are going to be carrying some of the speed maps into later stages of this match. But right now, if it is not going to be the case, or even rather, if it is going to be the case, Killer will be present. I'm not really sure if they're going to be able to right now get incredible performance right off the bat, because it is of course a speed map, but not an incredibly hard one, right? 240 BPM is still relatively accessible to this degree of players. Open ranked is just generally a stage where beasts are uncovered, and this round it might be the case after all, and 240 BPM will be not such a big challenge for them. The follow aim might be a bit more of a factor, right? There's going to be a lot of single nodes that you have to get through, and considering the general spacing between them, they might just trip up a little bit, especially if they are not feeling completely confident on the speed aspect. But yeah, really unexpected pick coming in from Team Waddle Dee, and a risky one.
Yeah, it's an interesting one, but you might as well get it out early, right? You have a breakpoint to play with, and you don't have the pressure of the late match. Let's see if we can capitalize on a huge no-mod 2. We can pick something a little bit safer in the next pick before the next ban stage comes through. So I am very interested in this pick from them. I'm very interested to see where it goes if they have the right read.
I mean, yeah, well, I guess it was after also the decision, and we are going to be seeing if it was the right one. Khan is again in the chat. MP Star 10 has been set, and it is time to prove that it is going to be an advantageous map for them, as the lineups are finally revealed. Nujabes, TTV, UFO, and Pickup Pawn from the team of Waddle Dee. Please don't forget Skiller 2007 after all in the lobby. Ahelo and Bananachi from the team Rose. Team to be determined, and already at the start we are not going to be seeing a lot of differences. The score advantage is not going towards either of the side, at least not at a big decision, I guess. There is not going to be a lot of discrepancies, as well, the accuracy seems not to be a problem for any of the players in this lobby.
Nujabes, some accuracy drops early, TTV UFO to follow. The question becomes, do those speak to the comfort of the players? Aheo is going to trade those accuracy drops as well, so it's early scoring, but TTV UFO, the first to find the break, not looking so comfortable on this map.
It seems like it is going to be the case. The score advantage is, after all, going to be increasing towards the team Rose here, and unexpected, and possibly just already might be a sign, a bad omen for the team Waddle Dee, as the team against them, the team Rose, are still holding a triple FC halfway through this map, getting absolutely incredible scores. Killer 2007 unexpectedly the lowest accuracy, I believe, from their side, as Ahelo and Bananashi especially are going absolutely insane. 99.7% accuracy from him, but there is just going to be a question, is there going to be enough combo to keep that lead, as the Killer 2007 is going to be finally finding an equalizer against the Waddle Dee.
And that's the break that they needed to open up this match here, approaching the halfway point. Killer 2007 breaking at one of the most crucial points in the map, a huge cap on the score. And you look at the other two players on Waddle Dee, you see Nujabes, you see Picapone, and you know what you don't see? You don't see Bananachi, you don't see Aheo, they both break. There's suddenly no combo on to be determined. It's so sudden, I cannot even describe just how sudden that is. Right at the break, TTV UFO, Picapone, and Nujabes, they're going to see this. They're going to see they all have a very, very surprising combo advantage. Not what they expected, but something they will take to the bank.
Man, it is now the time to prove that it was indeed a good pick. It does not matter if combo is going to be lost at the start if the ending is good, but Picapone is finding a slider break right on the first slider right after the break, and that is trouble. It is giving at least a little bit of a hope for him to be determined, as the score difference is not huge one. There is still going to be some maps, some parts where they can find some breaks, and it is now just depending if there is going to be mistakes from Nujabes, mistakes from TTV UFO, but it seems like that is not going to be the case. They are recovering, they do not care, the map is their favor, they can do that, as the TTV UFO and Nujabes are still holding that FC. TTV, after incredible, unfortunate, after all, breaks at the intro, but the accuracies are here, and that is what matters. The score difference is increasing even more, so 400k and going up and up little by little. Still, incredible combos and mistakes are not coming through, and team to be determined will be, after all, submitting and getting at second point towards the team Waddle Dee.
They needed a follow-up mistake from Nujabes there, but that Picapone slider break was really, really surprising. Picapone had a near SS on the map. Then suddenly, I think, got a little nervous, misread the slider. But I think Waddle Dee might have... I hope that they learned the valuable lesson here. I hope that they looked at the scores and realized that there was a silly break, but all of the players still recovered their combos. I think Waddle Dee got very, very lucky on this Nomatsu to consolidate their breakpoint. And in all honesty, this Nomatsu shouldn't have gone their way. To be determined, they had a very, very unfortunate set of breaks all in a row. And if Waddle Dee realizes that, they should know you're not paying back into this skill set. You again, I cannot stress it enough. You got very lucky. However, to be determined, I think that might scare them a lot. I think the nerves and the pressure are suddenly at an all-time high because it feels like you just threw that away. Everybody saw each other's combos right at that break and knew, oh my god, they did the same thing that I did. And you feel frustrated, you feel tilted. So one of the things that To Be Determined is going to have to wrestle with throughout the next few maps is how do you shake off that tilt and start performing at your best again?
Yeah, I mean, that is definitely big trouble, especially after unexpected and very risky from Team Waddle Dee. They have to answer somehow, right? You can go towards a safe route, try to go towards some of those old skill sets still left in the pool, like DT4 possibly, but I mean, you have to find some of those doors to go towards in the future, because the out maps are going to be running out, and especially after the loss on the normal 3, you're not going to be feeling completely confident that they're going to be winning them, but it seems like they are going to be exchanging skill sets. HD2 is on the table, and Team To Be Determined is challenging Team Waddle Dee. They're saying that they are not going to be going down on this type of reading skill set, and especially on this one.
Badu versus all of NA. Sayonara Souvenir. This one is, and I know we say this a lot about Hidden Sues. It is weird. 109 BPM swing, CS5, AR8. This one, it's just so hard to keep up with the rhythm on this one, given just the swing element to this. And there's some kind of mean snaps in this. It's tough to keep up with.
Yeah, I mean, this time around it is even a little bit of a different HD2, right? Of course, it is still going to be kind of a name, right? There is not going to be a lot of overlaps or a really dense patterns across this map, but generally, just the swings that you mentioned, those swipe-like patterns, are going to be bringing trouble for any of the players that are going to be facing off against each other on this type of map. But again, just looking at the previous matches, it seemed like they were pretty decently matched, right? The difference was just in 1 or 2 misses from one of those supporting players, and that is why it is such an interesting match to watch. It is still a quarterfinals, but we are already seeing still incredible performances, a lot of FFCs, and that is why only one mistake might just decide it all, as HD2 is going to be, after all, a second pick from the Team To Be Determined.
Yeah, I can't get over just how interesting this is. This was a pick that could have gone from either team, could have been banned by either team, if we're being honest. And what interests me the most is, I mentioned the mental after Nomatsu. Hidden 2 is one of those mental maps. It is one of those where if you're not in the right mind, you will just start tanking score, because you have to be so locked in on the rhythm, right? Because it's already swing, which is not the most usual rhythm to play. Low BPM adds to that. It adds kind of pressure to the swing, but also the patterning, as is kind of standard for the Hidden 2, is pretty deceptive. It's made to make you think that there are rhythms that aren't there, and combined with swing, where players are going to be a lot less comfortable traditionally, it gets so much tougher. So the question is, do you have the mental fortitude to make it through a pick like this?
Yeah, I mean, a map by KTG is always something that you cannot feel completely confident on, especially if you are not used to this type of mapping. But, well, the map is starting, we are already going to be seeing at least some of the differences, maybe in the accuracy, maybe in the combo, but for now, we are going to be seeing that Jackpacks and Pick-a-Pone together with TTV4 are just going good enough. They do not feel much strain on the rhythm, at least aspect for now, holding all 3 of them double S. Unfortunately, Pick-a-Pone finally fighting unfortunate 100, while Jackpacks will be finding a first miss for his team, actually falling because he's behind by Killer 2007, but it is still going to be just a slight score advantage already going towards the Team Waddle Dee, while we are closing down in the first quarter.
Killer 2007 and TTV UFO trade break. That's only Badu seeing against both Plute and Pikapone here. Yeah, so tough. Pikapone draining accuracy, a little bit of discomfort, but not enough to find a break. Killer 2007, another break to follow it up. Combo advantage surely in Waddle Dee's favor now.
I mean, at least for now, it is going to be the case, especially with Incredible against still 2 FCs. No mind that Team Happy is just still, so it is not going to be the case for him. FC is not incoming. Pikapone is the only still standing combo together with supporting from TTV UFO for Team Waddle Dee, but they are facing off against some of the great, but do still on an FC generational run together with Jackpacks with great recovery combo, looking to prove that they are still able to do some of those incredible scores even in the lobby, in the tournament setting, that the pick that they are going for is not uncalculated, not as risky as someone might think, as the score difference is going down little by little, it seems.
Yeah, but Jackpacks finds a break. Pikapone's accuracy is hurting, but now able to build the score lead back up with that Jackpacks break. That supporting combo for Badu was so important when Pikapone had that low accuracy and had that slightly lower TTV UFO combo. But now, Badu completely alone here. Jackpacks not supporting. Killer 2007 certainly not supporting. And as long as Pikapone and TTV UFO can hold on to this a little bit longer, they can box the man out. It doesn't matter that Plute keeps finding breaks. The Plute isn't comfortable when you have the two players on the bottom side of the screen still performing.
Yeah, I mean, we are already in the last quarter of this map, and it is pretty much a 1v1. One miss from either Waddle and Pikapone will be closing down the deal, figuring stuff out, and giving an answer who is going to be winning this map, as Pikapone is finally finding a break, while Waddle is holding, trying his best to bring it down, bring it closer towards his team, but the score difference is not moving fast enough. He needs to see another mistake, another big breakdown from TVU4, and it is happening! What? 200k score difference going down little by little, but is there going to be enough nodes in the map? Is there going to be enough objects to get through? As Waddle is going to be the reason why it is going to be a closer match, a closer map than expected, as it is just going down at already 1000 combo in and looking to close down that FC and possibly a point towards the team to be determined, but there is only so much nodes left. Is it going to be enough?
It's so close! Just enough!
No!
Enough! 5,000, the difference for Waddle Dee! With you fighting until the end, but accuracy biting. 97% was not enough, but he was so much more comfortable in the early phases of the map, but started to get nervous, started to find accuracy drops, and without the supporting combo there to be that anchor up for Badu, unfortunately, just wasn't enough with the accuracy that he had. I imagine even 1 or 2 100s might have been the difference with how fast that lead swung over, but it is not enough to be determined down another breakpoint. And Waddle Dee, a chance to consolidate with their second pick before the second ban phase.
The devil is in the details, and he showed up and took a possible victory away from the team to be determined and given another second breakpoint towards the Team Iris on the right. And that is incredibly good position to be in if you are a Team Waddle Dee supporter, that's for sure. The second pick is going to be coming from the side, and they, even while they did not pick that number 2, AG2 still has been played. They can go towards some of those more reading maps if they are feeling confident enough. They had the potential to close it down even more confidently, but again, incredible overperformance even from Badu, just showing up that he's still one of the greater tournament players on this type of skill set, just aim and low AR, and together with HD, he's going to be here and showing up. But, well, Known 5 is still on the table, the overall team performance is looking greater for the team on the right, and it might just be a pick to go for.
BT3 Rose Quartz map by Garden is the pick, and I want to harken back to Nomatsu for a moment, because Nomatsu was a bit of a weird one. It was one that, in my opinion, was a bit of a mistake from Waddle Dee, where they got lucky in order to secure the point, but it might bite them in the back to pick into the same skill set again. So this one is going to be a little bit lower BPM. You're looking at 220. This is straight stamina from Garden, but I think a lot of similar shades to the way that Nomatsu functions as a map. So Waddle Dee, I understand the pick. You win on the Nomatsu. This is a pretty natural pick, right? But the way that you won on the Nomatsu has me feeling a little more cautious about this one.
I mean, this type of map is diabolical. I'm not going to be lying here. This, first of all, it is a 4WC 2025 Finals DT2 that we're going to be seeing here. It is at 220 BPM fin control, basically in DT, but do not fret, it is not the only skill set that is going to be tested here, as the stamina aspect is also biting back quite a bit, especially in the middle point and in the ending of this map. There is going to be trouble, and I do not feel like there is too much overlap with number 2 on this DT3. That is why I feel like that might be another, possibly a mistake, a bad pick coming in from Team Iris here, but they have proven me wrong once, they have proven me wrong twice. Why cannot they do that third time? It is still possible, they are still feeling really good, and it is time to prove again and again that they are going to be worthy enough to go towards the semi-finals in the winner bracket and possibly even further.
Perhaps Waddle Dee, a very solid mechanics team. See if they can put it together on the DT3 to determine, of course, you pointed out Killer 2007 earlier, a player that will absolutely be mandatory coming into this map. I imagine we'll just see the run back of Bananachi and a Hail as well. It works solidly on the Nomad too, might as well run it back here.
I guess if it is not broken, do not fix it, as we are going to be seeing map really soon, hopefully. The timer should be running out at this point. Jackbox is already feeling confident enough playing the map in his mind as, well, DD3 is honestly, even if we just throw out the actual map in the question, the song is pretty enjoyable, right? You can pick it just to feel good about it, but yeah, it seems like the map is going to be starting after all, just in a few moments. Good luck, have fun is in the chat, and it is going to be just a potential way to come back, to get and finally a first point on board for team on the left, team to be determined, just to get at least a taste of a possible point, just to get into the zone, to sniff out a possible win path for the team.
To be determined needs a breakpoint here in first to 6. It would be devastating to be down 2 consolidated breakpoints, to be down 4-0 before that second phase of map bans come through. They really, really, really want to secure it, but it's going to be very, very tough. Finger control and stamina all the way through in this map. 2 minutes 51 of pure tapping hell. Bananachi, Hail, Killer 2007, they all trade breaks. Hopefully a sign of good fortune of a reverse break, but maybe a sign of comfort as you see these accuracies continue to drop.
What is incredible here is that we are still seeing triple of C coming from Team Waddle Dee in this intro. It is a diabolical one. Some people would go with the hardest part of this map, but it seems like that is not the case for the team on the right. Still going insane with good accuracies to match that. The last one being at 95%, but the double break will be turning things around. The 100k score, 100k wall will be still built and possibly at least solving down the advance the team to be determined is making right now, with great recovery combos already from Bananachi, Hell, and Killer 2007 lagging just a little bit behind as they're heading towards the stamina part of this map little by little, and it seems like that is still not going to be a big trouble for any of the players.
Bananachi goes down, and the combos were telling the story of a game that we had that was, it felt like a live game, but the accuracy is telling another story. The score lead's still building up for Waddle Dee's side, and now building essentially an equal combo against the opposing team. In fact, just a little bit larger. Peak opponent ending out a Hail by about 100 combo. Bananachi, Birchman trade breaks once again, but it's really the 2 other combos for each team that are putting forth the pressure.
Yeah, Banshee is breaking a little bit, but we are still going to be seeing incredible performance from both of the sides. I believe still 2 FCs from both of the sides. Not FCs, apologies, but great combos in the face of pick up on TTV4, facing off against Sahel and Killer 2007 from the team to be determined. They're going to be trading out little by little pick up on TTV4 going down against Killer and Bananachi, but the Hell is still ahead. He's going to be the leading factor, a possible solution to the equation that Team Waddle Dee has been put in right now, the only combo that he's still on the table is bringing the score down little by little, already at 60k points as we are heading towards the last quarter, and there is going to be enough nodes little by little to get it towards the side of to be determined, but they have to hold. They cannot lose more scores, they cannot lose that combo that the hell is producing. He's going to be the only reason why they are still in the game, little by little, just going insane with great accuracy, but it is going to be down. A hell, not able to close it down just a tiny bit. 12k score difference is going to be enough to get that score advantage back towards the team of Waddle Dee. Little by little, close it down and proving that they are still good enough on the speed aspect. They are going to be winning, and they are going to be extending the lead to 4 against 0 for in the face of Waddle Dee and to be determined.
Oh my god, it almost swung over right at the end, but Energy was holding a god combo right at the end. There was a ton of accuracy drops from TTV UFO, combo drop as well. Birchman was the only person holding him off, and Birchman just a few 100s away from giving it over himself. So a lot closer than you might be led to believe by the Aheo drop. But Waddle Dee still able to get away with it by even finer margins than before. It's really, really, really close. But the scoreline doesn't tell that story. The scoreline is really the only thing that matters, and the scoreline says a clean 4-0 for Waddle Dee. A huge boost in motivation, a huge boost in momentum in this match. You have the bands coming up a second to breathe, and then you have To Be Determined's next pick. Somehow, after that pick, they need to take at least 2 breakpoints off of Waddle Dee. It is a very, very tall ask.
Wow, that is actually insane, to be honest. But with the second ban phase finally coming, it is now a prime time for Team To Be Determined to turn things around. They're still going to be really close simply because the skill sets are so evenly matched in this matchup. But right now, you have to remember, even as we are seeing 4-0 scoreboard still in front of our faces, the maps were really close. The biggest difference was, I believe, on the Nomad 2 at around 400k, but all the others, they were much closer than expected. There was a lot of potential. One more miss, a few more hundreds that has been left down was all the difference between a win and a loss, between a point and a loss. And you have to just continue doing what you're doing. You have to keep your just confidence up. It is not about you. You can do that. You just have to try one more time, and that is what's going to be happening today in the quarterfinals on the Resurrection 2026. As well, we are still waiting for a ban coming in from Team Rose.
AT1, the ban, was brought up earlier as one that could be potential 240 BPM, just straight hard aim mechanics. I think following the Nomad 1 ban, it makes sense, right? Nomad 1 is kind of general aim collection. DT1, given what we've seen on the speed focus picks and the fact that Nomad 1 was already banned, this DT1 ban kind of naturally follows, right? But Waddle Dee, I'm much more interested in what they're banning. Hard Rock 3 obviously implies that they don't really want to play into like alt control stuff, but then they win on Nomad 3, and it was pretty solidly won for them too. So the question is, do they want to keep banning alt control, or do they want to explore something new to ban?
Yeah, that is a question where you do not know the answers. It is not in the books. It is going to be just deciding on what is happening exactly in this moment. And after the DT1 ban coming in from To Be Determined, it feels like they are not going to be going down on their words, on their actions. They are going to be risking even more, because again, there is so much maps that are still pretty much facing off, doing the same aspects, challenging the same troubles for any of the players. In Nomad 3, there's a lot of maps like Nomad 3, there is a lot of maps like HD2, there is, well, not a lot of tapping, to be fair, still on the play, but Fremont 3 is still on the table, and I'm really surprised about what is happening. They just a decently neutral ban of the DT1 on the aim aspect that has not been really played so far, with the exception of HD2, that has not been really tested, where they have the most equal type of rivalry. it is really unexpected, but DT4 ban, on the other hand, from the team Waddle Dee is just makes sense.
Yeah, it is unfortunate that we lose a custom once again. DT4 met by Yasuo. Unfortunate to see it go, but I don't even know how to describe that. Like it's this really weird, like it's 200 BPM, but it's also kind of alt. It's so strange to describe a map like that. But not wanting to deal with it, I think that leans again into the really hard control aspect. I think Waddle Dee recognizing that they got away with it on No Mod 3, it might be hard to get away with it again.
I mean, to be fair, the overall skills that are going to be tested on DT4 and No Mod 3 are quite different, right? While No Mod 3 is very snap and alt control heavy, right? DT4 is much more flowy. There is still going to be a lot of snap elements in the middle of the patterns, right? Where your bursts are pretty much placed like a cut stream type of pattern, but, well, it does not really matter because now we are not going to be seeing it in this match, and as it is going to be the last match of the quarterfinal stage, not in this tournament, but, well, the question and a trouble right now for team to be determined is a pick. They have to pick something, they have to go towards one of the skill sets, they have to gamble, and what do they really want to gamble with, right? There is still going to be some maps to go towards, maybe 3 if they are feeling really cocky, maybe HD3, but it is still going to be a bit of a question, and it seems like it is going to be, after all, decision has been made, HD3 is on the table, and after the DT4 ban, it makes sense.
Yeah, on Seeking You, very, very flow aim heavy. This is Halia's bread and butter, right? This kind of aim control, flow aim mashed together. Of course, I think the big focus of this map is the key eyes. As soon as the vocalist says you are doing a full, like, I think it's like a 9-note circle around the center of the screen that is just giga spaced at 145 BPM.
Yeah, I mean, I can't even want to call it a washing machine pattern, but generally it is just a circle, it is just a fun map generally. It has been, I believe, made for China 1 2025 Week 1 No Mod 3. And, well, it makes sense, right? It is still a great Fallout test map, so after DT4 that had a lot of those fall elements, but after generally feeling quite confident on flow aim on those maps, right? The most misses we have seen were on over aim, were on just unfortunate just tapping aspects, right? Unfortunate misdirection, finger control issues, but HD3 is just a step in another direction. It is a try to go to change the flow of the way it is going right now in this match, and to get, after all, a possibly first point and a leg in the door for a potential comeback.
Yeah, they need this hidden 3. This could very well be their final pick. Very, very scary prospect for a team that looked like it had a solid matchup into Waddle Dee coming into this match. We were talking about it before the match started that this could be very well a tiebreaker match. The 0 and 4 to be determined has a lot of work to do, and it starts right here on Seeking You. Difficulty name Osu, by the way. OSU is the title of the song after all.
Yeah, definitely a map to go for. But yeah, it seems like we are going to be finally seeing it. Maybe, I'm not sure if the timeout has been called, because, well, you have to at least calm a little bit your hands if you are not feeling completely confident, if the moral aspect has been affected after 4 map losses in a row. But it is now again a time to turn the tide around, as the HD3 is on the table. The map is starting in just 10 seconds, and it is the only chance for team to be determined to get a point on board.
Only stand by their own volition. Here we go on Seeking You, a must-win pick. Beat map by Halia once again. An original song from China Land 2025. Flute going to be the first to find the break. A combo advantage now given over to be determined. Accuracy drops across the board on the 1-6 patterns. meaning they're going to hold on to that advantage in the early part of the map.
Yeah, at least for now, it will be giving some of the score towards the side, just giving some a little bit of a safety vest, right? But with Miss coming in from Team Happy, it's going to be increasing even more. So the combo on board are definitely going in the advantage of the team on the left, trying their best so far in the first quarter without any, I believe, accuracy drops, at least major ones, while Team Waddle Dee might be struggling just a little bit. It seems like the average accuracy is not great from the side, and the score difference is going to be reflecting that even more. So if we are going to be seeing more mistakes coming in, as finally the washing machine buttons are coming, Pick-a-Pone and Badao are going to be just trading those misses, trading mistakes, looking to equalize. But with a miss coming in from TTV4, after all being traded by Gear 2007, it is still at an equal point as we are already right in the middle of the map.
I don't know about equal, because look at who's still left seeing. It's Jackpax. There's no matched FC, and Jackpax is the player you really, really, really want to be holding on in this aim control. Bloon has recovered that combo a little bit, but I think, could be a little bit shaky on the comfort still. Huge circle patterns come through. Jackpax hits it all. Combo advantage continued to be determined, but Jackpax finds the break right after, and suddenly Bloon has a chance to set up, but it's not there. Bloon finds the break right after. TTV UFO, but Badoo matching in combos, killing 2007, Pick-a-Pone matching combos. But it's a full team break for To Be Determined and an opening for Waddle Dee.
And not just a break and accuracy drop, but that the score difference did go down quite a bit, and at least with some kind of resemblance of a combo advantage going towards the team Waddle Dee, it will be going down bit by bit, but again, accuracy drops are not going to be letting that happen again. Score difference flying towards the 70k point. It is going to be after all traded by Gear 2007 with more misses, more mistakes, more accuracy drops, but it is still not an equal match as the map is pretty much just ended. There is the last quarter, there's only so much nodes left in the map, and with a miss after all, a combo break from Pick-a-Pone and Team Happy, it seems like it is finally settled. The team on the left, Team To Be Determined, has determined the way to go, the way to the victory, and with that they will be taking the first step and first point on board to them.
Very, very good from To Be Determined. Huge highlight scores, especially from Jackpax on that pick. Made it happen. Jackpax was destroyed through that first KI. Broke on nothing after, and then came right back in the second KI. Said, nah, I still got it. Don't even worry about it. A point on the board finally after, I would say, 4 demoralizing ones, where it feels like you were just so close every time but couldn't break through. Finally, something goes their way, and it's Waddle Dee that needs to respond, as To Be Determined has finally guaranteed themselves another point in the match. Sorry, another pick.
I mean, definitely at least another chance to go towards a comeback of this story, as honestly it is a really good win for them, right? The old and flow aim specifically aspect has some plays still on the board. Free mode 3 is pretty much just flow aim. Free mode 2, I believe, is still going to be something closer to that than other skill sets, so definitely going to be some of those maps that Team Rose can try to abuse in the future, and it will be opening up at least some kind of a possibility for them, but it is not going to be enough if they are not going to be winning some of those combo breaks, not combo breaks, break points, and they need to overperform and get some incredible performances on the maps of the choosing from the team Waddle Dee, and right now it is a question what they are going to be going for.
Free mod 4 pick Black Blast by Oat Milk. I'm very interested in this one. A skill set we haven't really seen thus far in this match is this free mod 4. Made as a hidden 3 actually originally, which speaks to kind of its tech nature, and a very, very interesting one at that very controlled height. And I would say honestly the most similar to No Mod 3, although even then, just because of the BPM difference, it's worlds apart.
I mean, it kind of makes sense, right? Generally, you did mention before that the tech maps are in the favor of Team To Be Determined, right? And this is just a tech map, right? A bit surprising considering that Nomad 4 has not been picked yet, but it seems like the modification pool is what they actually are going to be trying to abuse right now, because if you are going to be watching closely on what has been picked so far, it was generally pretty unaffected mods, right? No, 2 mods, 2 HDs, and DG3. Which, well, of course, it is going to be speeding up the map itself, but it's not going to be making some unusual changes, let's put it that way. While free mod 4 is just forced a mode that you have to pick at least 2 of those different modifications while playing this map. It is again a little bit of a gamble, but you have to take it at this point at least.
Yeah, I feel like Waddle Dee a bit shaken up after just how close both the Hidden 2 and the DP3 were. A little worried about picking back into those skill sets. You know, the Nomad 5 still open, DP2 is open, but I think quite rightfully a little worried about just going gung-ho back into those skill sets with how close those maps were. So the free mod 4 opening up a new direction in this map with how close these teams are in terms of just general skill sets. It makes sense that they're interested in testing the waters with tech. But to be determined, this is a kind of a really big chance, right? You're not bad on tech as a team. And if you can secure this one, suddenly, you know, 4-1 goes to 4-2, you probably go to 4-3, and suddenly you got a match on your hands. So it's a very, very big opportunity for to be determined. But it is, of course, to be determined. This free mod pick, very interesting. Of course, Resurrection Cup using Force mod rules, meaning one player must use Hidden, one player must use Hard Rock, and one player must use any valid mod combination. That can be a single mod, that can be multiple mods, but it cannot be no mod. Here we go. It's 2 HDs and 1 HR, each team apiece. Aheo, Nujabes, the Hard Rock players.
I'm excited to see Aheo on Hard Rock from the team to be determined, but we are going to be seeing soon. And with that, what a great decision for them, as we already see the score advantage is going a little bit towards their side, already 20k points. It seems like the generally, even with a miss from Badu, an early one, the score advantage was enough, and it is going to be traded even more so by Steam Happy and TTV UFO. The scoring lead is finally growing little by little, getting some of that much needed advantage, much needed just point increased towards the side, as it is going to be a short map.
Yeah, 2 FCs left. Jackpacks on the Hidden, Nujabes on the Hard Rock. The FCs from completely different worlds here. And actually, wait a second, Aheo was a Banjo break. Actually, this is a really, really nice score lead for to be determined. Aheo, that was definitely a real break. But even then, you look at the combo lead here. Jackpacks not only has a full combo, but Badu has an amazing supporting combo on the Hidden as well. Aheo may have broken, but broke way later than it initially looked like. And now with just a third left of the map and this much of a score difference, I think, Tommy, that it looks possible all of a sudden. A really, really, really good showing on tech for to be determined.
Definitely great stuff for them, but they are still not in the clear. Nujabes is still in the C on the HR, looking incredible. 98.2% accuracy from him on the HR. It is kind of crazy on the tech map, on the free mod 4 of this pool, but it is not going to be enough because it is a team tournament. You are facing off against other players, and Jackpacks and Badu are showing up with a masterclass on those unusual patterns, masterclass of sliders, and possibly masterclass on how to get a comeback going.
Very, very nice FCs from Jackpacks and Nujabes on different mods at that. And a really, really good supporting combo from Badu. Broke early on, didn't matter, was able to put in the work and put in a really good performance for this team. 2 and 4, their chance to consolidate the breakpoint on to be determined's next pick here. And I have to imagine you just won on tech. You have to be feeling really confident on this kind of skill set after just how dominant this was. To me, at least to me, this feels like a really clear Nomad 4 angle.
Well, as soon as the song will be fixed, it seems I would be inclined to agree, honestly, right? Film 4 was a little bit more of a slider aim heavy map, right? But not as much as Nomad 4 is, and, well, considering that it is kind of a classic already coming in from OWC 2025 quals, it might be a good pick to go for, right? At the very least, it is quite a noticeable and a map that all the players know in this lobby. Just the overall comfort might be enough for them to get another point on board, but it is still a decision, right? Because Nomad so far has not been kite for team on the left, and maybe they really want to go towards some of those, again, mode abuse combinations with free mode 3, free mode 2. But it ultimately just goes towards that decision, because no matter what you go for, you just have to perform and perform nicely.
Yeah, putting forth a good performance key. Also notable is, once again, we're in a situation where this could be to be determined's last pick. This is something that we will keep seeing for the rest of the match, where every time they get to pick, it might just be their last, this one and the next. So they have to think very carefully, and DT2 the pick. They took some lessons from Nomad 2 and DT3, I'll tell you what. And this DT2, I will say, very different from both. Much more tapping heavy at 262 BPM is Restlessness. This is pure speed and relying on the Killer 2007 factor to get the job done.
Yeah, I mean, a short map with a song made by Saitoni is going to be quite interesting map indeed, right? Just a great experience. 163 BPMs that you have mentioned, that will be just focused into the stamina pattern, right? Because Nomad 2 and D3, they were not... I guess D3 was much closer to something that we can call stamina, right? And honestly, after viewing that as, well, commentators and viewers, I believe we did see that stamina parts were exactly the trouble for Team Waddle Dee previously. That was the place where they lost the most score from the side, and it seems like team on the left has clocked it. They do feel like it is going to be an advantageous pick for them, but it is still quite unexpected, honestly. I do believe that some of those more specified, more interesting type of unusual skill set might have been the play, but, well, I guess they're going to be proving myself again wrong.
Yeah, I think this is a wonderful pick from them. Took all the right lessons potentially from the Nomads 2 and the DP3, and again, I have to stress this could be their final pick, but a very interesting pick to open it up. This team has shown efficiency here on high BPM. They had mistakes made earlier in the match, but I think right here, right now, they have a chance to really prove themselves. Waddle Dee's strength has not been super high BPM tapping, and hey, you know, this is 262. This is the highest BPM you'll play in a tournament, but this is quarterfinals, right? This is the third round of the tournament, and 262 is definitely getting there in terms of the level of speed. The previous fastest map that we had in a pool at 270 had like almost no considerable amount of actual tapping patterns. It was a lot of triples and quints, and now we have a map that plays a little longer with the pattern. It's a little bit tougher on the aim requirement and asks you to be completely comfortable at this BPM. I think this is something that To Be Determined can pull off.
Only few indeed can show up on this type of map, but we do have some players in the lobbies that can do that. DTV, UFO, and Cure 2007 really are going to be trying to stand up even more together with Japax. I believe a kind of a dark horse that is up and coming and gets incredible job done, especially on some of those more specified, more high BPM and high skill ceiling maps, as the map is finally before our eyes, and we already see that at least on the accuracy department it is actually quite equal, with exception of one or two players.
Yeah, but it's early days in this map. Certainly not the hardest portion. You see these little details of Fuder's mapping. Fuder's one of these mappers that really likes to focus on the aesthetics of things, and that can lead to some weird spacing sometimes. TTV UFO caught out, but energy to trade it going into the Ki. It's 2 FCs apiece.
Yeah, I mean, it is trying their best. It seems like the accuracy is going to be dropping considerably quite a bit too. We are considering the score difference did go down towards the 10k point, and it's not going to be increasing fast, at least as we are already only at halfway through this map. It is unrelentless. There is not going to be any place for you to recover and any place to let your hands go numb, but you have to continue to perform, and that is going to be the biggest challenge as the score difference is going down and down again. The accuracy is going down. Pick up pawn after row, finds a mistake, getting the combat advantage back towards the team to be determined on the left, and it will be increasing the score advantage, just skyrocketing towards the side. Unfortunately, it is not going to be the case after all. Cure 2007 going to be trading that out. A hello, we still have Nujabes, but it might not be a case and close as Akelo is finally finding the break. Nujabes is turning the things around. Already 50, 60, almost 100k score difference towards the team Waddle Dee, and he is carrying them towards the win on their shoulders. He is showing up when it is needed. Nujabes, one of the speed players for his team, already find the break, but it is going to be enough. 200k score difference is nothing to scoff at, and it will be giving them another point on board.
A tragic team break for To Be Determined. They had the combo to fight, I think. Sure, Nujabes just put up a really, really good score, a near FC, but they had so much combo, they lost it all in an instant. Killer 2007 going down was one thing, but there was still great combos from an Anachi and a Hale, and suddenly they were just gone. To Be Determined, I think once again, they had tapping locked up. They had a really good performance going on, but suddenly the entire team reset in the combo, and they were just not able to find their way back. It's Waddle Dee's pick next, and up 5-2, a chance to consolidate for the entire match. This could very well be the last pick of this match.
The match point is before us. Team Waddle Dee is really just looking to find one more point, one more win and advance further, but they need to actually get up and perform on a peak of their own right now if they want that to happen, as well, they are still going to be in a prime position simply because it is not just one of their picks going to be played. Even if they are going to be losing that, even if they are not going to be able to pick up a breakpoint against To Be Determined on their own pick, there is going to be one more, and one more decision will be going towards their way. But they for sure don't want this to happen, that they want to go towards that point, as the North will be affecting them just a bit too much, as this decision will be just a mental battle. And considering that there is not going to be a lot of tapping maps, basically non-tapping maps left in the pool, there is not going to be a lot of maps that they have abused so far, maybe with the exception of HD1, that is very aim heavy, very HD heavy. I'm really lost on what we might expect right now being leaked from Team Waddle Dee.
Free mod 3 is the go, and this makes some level of sense, right? You win on the no mod 2, which is 240 BPM with Flowing Aspect. This free mod 3 is going to be your traditional Flowing map. This is going to be your no mod 2 by any other name, 200 BPM map by It's Winter. Crucially, you are going to have to throw somebody on Hard Rock here. And hidden flow aim is no joke either, but I think the Hard Rocks might just be the defining aspect of this map. But for Waddle Dee, I think saying, you know what? We have won all 3 tapping picks. Of all the tapping maps picked, we literally have a flawless record. It doesn't matter how. Let's just do it. Let's be back.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like it is going to be the case here after all, and I'm really excited to see that, right? As you mentioned, the map by It's Winter, the map that has been made for OWC 2022 quarterfinal stage as a nomad to. It is just a fun experience, right? There's going to be a lot of 200 BPM flow-based streams, with a lot of acceleration and deceleration motions, changing up constantly. I feel like generally the flow aim has been a bit more advantageous towards the team on the left, the team To Be Determined, and that is why I felt like that is not going to be the pick coming in from Team Waddle Dee. But, well, it seems like they just want to prove everyone wrong. They are going to be showing up that any of the skills, that any of the maps are within reach, and that the potential last map is going to be starting just in a few moments as, well, players are getting in the lobby and are feeling ready to shred.
Hey, you know what? I would love to see Jack Tax shred. I understand Jack Tax will not be in for this map. I think Jack Tax should be in for this map. Maybe this is, you know what? Maybe it's a life game for Jack Tax. I don't know. I would love to see it. Something tells me we're not actually seeing Jack Tax in. Likely going to be the same lineups that we have been seeing on the tapping so far. DT3, Nomad 2, DT2 have all featured the same lineups for both teams. I wouldn't doubt that we see the exact same lineup on free mod 3. Question is, what's the mod distribution going to look like? You need one HD, one HR, and one of any valid mod combination, not including no mods. So where do you place those on the players? Who's been practicing Hard Rock on this one, you know?
I mean, to be fair, I do believe, I do think that team on the right has one player that is going to be feeling quite confident here, and it would be TTV UFO on the Hard Rocks, and it seems that is not going to be the case after a while. Jabis is taking up the gun, really going to be showing again and again that the Hard Rock is his nature, is his way to go in this game of Oz, as he's already just proven times again what a great tournament player he is. But, well, it is now time to go away with this free mod 3, little by little, as it seems like, at least for now, the Commander Ladders will be going towards the team Waddle Dee on the right, as Killer 2007 did find an early miss.
But Nujibes with the first really impactful break here on the Hard Rock. The opposing Hard Rock player, Aheo, has not dropped yet, and it's a combo advantage overall to be determined, despite the killer break very early on. Nujibes break a little more impact, but Aheo and Killer 2007 gonna make me eat my words here. Trade break with Pikapone, but it's now a slight combo advantage, making a major combo advantage to Waddle Dee as Bananachi goes down. TTV UFO, the only full combo. You were saying UFO might just feel comfortable, but I think it might be on the hidden that we're seeing the comfort come out here. Recovered supporting combo for Nujibes as well. Not long for this world. We're gonna give UFO just a little support.
Yeah, I mean, definitely not just a little one, as he's trading quite away, and the only, again, just great supporting combo on this field here is Pikapone and Killer 2007, while Killer 2007 is playing for the opposing team. Pikapone is trying his best to equalize that performance, as we see that score difference is climbing up, but only just bit by bit, or only sitting at around 100k, as we are closing down the first half of this map, little by little, and the winner is still undecided. There is one, of course, as he's still on board the UFO, going insane with incredible accuracy to match with him, 99.59, but his teammates are not supporting that much nicely. Nujabis is not feeling as confident on HR as he might have thought before the map actually started. Pikapone is following closely behind, just getting into the slipstream that TTV UFO is producing, but on the left side, the threat is becoming real. Killer 2007 just going insane again. Going down after all, back into the ditches. The combo has been broken, and Aheo is the only one standing for his team, trying his best to get at least a glimmer of hope, a possible miracle opener for his team, but it is not going to be happening. TTV UFO is a miracle breaker and wizard, a player that is going to be able to close down any maps on his side. What?
Aheo goes down, but it's far too late. UFO able to bring it up, goes down himself, but once again, too late. Pikapone fully recovered. Nujibes fully recovered. No combos on the to be determined side. Even put a dent, and unfortunately, this is how their story ends in the winner's bracket. A dominant performance from Waddle Dee. No flukes here. Simple domination. Pikapone's going to close out a really good score to nearly match UFO. We look at UFO as telling this map story, that Pikapone not too far behind, and better accuracy to boot. Waddle Dee 6-2. We'll be moving on to the semifinals in the winner's side, but to be determined are not out of it yet. This was, of course, a winner's bracket match, and to be determined will be given the chance to play again next week.
The seed upset has happened. CT10 team is still continuing strongly through this tournament, looking to prove that it was just a momentary mistake getting towards the semi-finals so far of the Resurrection 2026. But the way is going to be getting even harder from this point onward, and we are going to be watching with great interest as the Waddle Dee is after all facing off, advancing forward as well. It is time for team that they were facing off against today to be determined to prove themselves again in the lower bracket. And that is all, folks. That is it. That was the last match. An incredible performance from both the team and a great closing of the quarterfinal stage.
Yeah, it was a great time. There will be a semifinals map pool showcase tomorrow. I'll tell you, it's looking good. I've seen a little bit. It's looking good. So make sure you're there. Don't have a set time for the semifinals map pool showcase yet, but it will be Monday at some time UTC. And we'll see you then.
Stay tuned and hope for the future. Bye bye.